Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Sunday, December 30th, 2018. Today I'm going to recap last night's college football playoff games that took place, as well as the other bowl games. Go through the scores of college basketball, NBA, and the NHL. Do my 2018 MLB ReDraft. Do my picks for today and my best bet. All right. College football playoff. The first game, Clemson defeats Notre Dame 30-3 as Clemson advances to their third national title game in 4 years. Notre Dame yet again falters in a big spot. Trevor Lawrence was outstanding, 27-39, 327 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ian Book was not. 17 of 34, 160 yards and an interception. Clemson got on the board first with a field goal by Greg Hugel. And then Justin Yoon responds with a 28-yarder, 3-3 end of the first. Second, Justin Ross from Trevor Lawrence, 52 yards. PAT blocked, 9-3. Then Ross again from Lawrence, 42 yards, 16-3. With 2 seconds left, T. Higgins, 19 yards from Lawrence, 23-3. Third quarter, 62-yard run by Travis Etienne to make it a 30-3 game, and that was your final score. As there's going to be many questions about Notre Dame, and a lot of people believing that Clemson has a chance in the national title game against Alabama, who defeats Oklahoma 45-34 in the Orange Bowl. Alabama was up 28-0. Oklahoma made it respectable as the over doesn't even hit. The over-under was 80.5. Actually, never mind. The over did hit. It was 78, so it barely hit over. It dropped to 78, but last I saw it was at 80. Tua Tagovailoa, 24 of 27, 318 yards and 4 touchdowns. He looked healthy. Kyler Murray, after a slow start, ended up playing pretty well. 19 of 37, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now it's decision time for Murray, either baseball or football. He may or may not be in my redraft. You'll have to wait and find out. First quarter, 1-yard run for Damian Harris, 7-0 tied. Henry Ruggs, the third 10-yard pass from Tua Tagovailoa, 14-0. Harris again for a 1-yard run, 21-0 tied. 27 yards from Tua to Josh Jacobs, 28-0. Oklahoma on the board. Trey Sermon, 2-yard run, make it a 28-7 game. Austin Seibert, 26-yard field goal, 28-10. Bama gets a field goal right before halftime by Joseph Balavas. Third quarter, Seibert again, field goal, 31-13. 49-yarder from Murray to Charleston Rambo to make it 31-20. Big touchdown for Alabama. Devontae Smith, 10-yarder from Tua, 38-20. Oklahoma answers back. Murray to CeeDee Lamb, 10 yards, 38-27. Then another big one for Bama. Tua to Jerry Jeudy, 13 yards, 45-27. Then Kyler Murray, an 8-yard run to make it a 45-34 game, and that was your finals. Alabama goes their 4th straight national championship game. It's going to be very interesting. Other bowl games that were played, number 10 Florida defeats number 7 Michigan 41-15 in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Florida, impressive way to finish your season, 10-3. Michigan finishes at 10-3. That season's going to feel like a disappointment for Michigan with them losing to Ohio State in the fashion it did, then not making the playoffs because of it. And then their other big game that they had was against Notre Dame. They lost that game, and they lose to Florida, so they lost to the best 3 teams they played. They haven't beaten anybody good, and now Jim Harbaugh is going to be stuck with this 1-9 against top 10 teams record as the Michigan coach thing looming over him. But Michigan, I can't really say had a bad year. It was just a disappointing finish to what was a promising year. That's what I would define Michigan for this year. A surprise in the Belk Bowl. Virginia defeats South Carolina 28-0. This is a surprising result by many accounts. I thought South Carolina would be able to put up some points, and they did not. As Virginia finishes 8-5, South Carolina finishes at 7-6. Nevada defeats Arkansas State 16-13 in the Arizona Bowl in overtime. Nevada finishes at 8-5, and Arkansas State finishes at 8-5. Now I'm going to go to college basketball. There's some interesting results yesterday. I'm just going to go through the scores because there's going to be games tipping off in a half hour. Number 13, Ohio State defeats High Point 82-64. Notre Dame defeats Coppin State 63-56. Number 14, North Carolina defeats Davidson 82-60. Number 19, Mississippi State defeats BYU 103-81. Georgetown defeats Howard 102-67. Winthrop defeats Prairie View A&M 76-62. Wofford defeats Western Carolina 74-54. Penn State defeats UMBC 74-52. Number 3, Tennessee defeats Tennessee Tech 96-53. South Florida defeats Fairleigh Dickinson 60-54. Memphis defeats Florida A&M 96-65. St. Peter's defeats Hampton 83-80 in overtime. Georgia State defeats Middle Georgia State 117-69. Longwood defeats the Citadel 110-94. Troy defeats Arkansas Pine Bluff 71-63. North Dakota State defeats South Dakota 71-65. Purdue Fort Wayne defeats North Dakota 84-73. Vanderbilt defeats Tennessee State 95-76. Harvard defeats Mercer 71-67. Number 8, Michigan State defeats Northern Illinois 88-60. Nebraska defeats Southwest Minnesota State 79-38. Gardner-Webb upsets Wake Forest 73-69. Syracuse defeats St. Bonaventure 81-47. Number 16, Kentucky defeats Louisville 71-58. Missouri defeats Morehead State 75-61. Ole Miss defeats Florida Gulf Coast 87-57. Xavier defeats DePaul 74-65. Oklahoma State defeats Texas A&M Corpus Christi 69-59. Number 5, Kansas defeats Eastern Michigan 87-63. Santa Clara defeats Washington State 79-71. Siena defeats Cal Poly 75-54. St. Joe's defeats Wagner 59-57. Hartford defeats Marist 65-56. Ball State defeats Delaware State 116-57. George Washington defeats American 71-67 in overtime. UMass Lowell defeats Sacred Heart 191 in overtime. Number 6, Nevada defeats Utah 86-71. Toledo defeats Penn 77-45. Fayetteville State defeats UNC Asheville 80-63. That's a surprise. Houston Baptist defeats Dallas Christian 143-92. Abilene Christian defeats McMurray 88-40. Valparaiso defeats Purdue Northwest 97-61. Nichols defeats CU Harrodsburg 88-63. UAB defeats Arkansas Monticello 75-67. FIU defeats Illinois 73-71 in overtime. Rutgers defeats Maine 70-55. Niagara defeats Norfolk State 83-75. Stanford defeats VMI 96-68. Drake defeats McKendree 98-70. Lamar defeats Champion Christian 122-58. North Texas defeats Wright 103-87. Texas Southern defeats Texas A&M 88-73. Dayton defeats Georgia Southern 94-90. Pitt defeats Colgate 68-54. Miami defeats Campbell 73-62. Florida defeats Butler 77-43. Number 22, Houston defeats NJIT 80-59. Richmond defeats South Alabama 91-82. Montana defeats Northern Arizona 86-73. Montana State defeats Southern Utah 92-62. Princeton upsets number 17 Arizona State 67-66. Robert Morris defeats Hood 108-51. South Carolina Upstate defeats Coker 85-69. East Tennessee State defeats Furman 79-56. UTSA defeats Southeast Oklahoma State 70-67. Purdue defeats Belmont 73-62. Number 12 Auburn defeats North Florida 95-49. Texas State defeats Howard Payne 105-29. Louisiana defeats Southeast Louisiana 73-72. Louisiana Tech defeats Southern Miss 71-56. UNC Greensboro defeats Chattanooga 85-72. Weber State defeats Eastern Washington 84-72. Western Kentucky upsets number 15 Wisconsin 83-76. Jacksonville State defeats Reinhardt 109-77. Maryland defeats Radford 78-64. Baylor defeats New Orleans 84-44. Liberty defeats UCLA 73-58. Wyoming defeats Dixie State 65-63. Eastern Kentucky defeats Brescia 145-72. Charleston defeats UNC Wilmington 73-66. Number 21 Buffalo defeats Canisius 87-72. Utah Valley defeats Fresno State 64-60. Oregon defeats Boise State 62-50. Number 24, Iowa defeats Bryant 72-67. Kansas State defeats George Mason 59-58. St. Mary's defeats San Jose State 75-45. Seattle defeats Cal 82-73. Oregon State defeats Central Connecticut State 80-59. Stony Brook defeats Northern Iowa 73-63. Brown defeats San Diego State 82-61. Arkansas State defeats Harding 87-62. Green Bay defeats Milwaukee 92-82. Murray State defeats Bethel, Tennessee 110-82. Seton Hall defeats St. John's 76-74 on a buzzer-beating 3, as a bad call leads to that, as that could be a costly win or loss for whoever makes the tournament, or a big win or a costly loss for one of those teams that make it or miss it, that is Seton Hall, St. John's. If St. John's doesn't make the tournament, people are going to look back at that game. And if Seton Hall makes it, they're going to look back and say, oh, let's get going back with the results. Cal State Fullerton defeats Portland 79-64. Pacific defeats UC Irvine 84-75 in overtime. Santa Barbara defeats San Francisco 73-71. Cal State Northridge defeats Morgan State 94-86. San Diego defeats Grand Canyon 61-58. Cal Baptist defeats La Verne 97-46. Idaho State defeats Idaho 72-55. Northern Colorado defeats Sacramento State 70-65. Stanford defeats Long Beach State 93-86. And Hawaii defeats Alabama A&M 71-63. Today's slate's a little smaller. At 12 o'clock, you have Binghamton at number 2 Michigan. New Hampshire at Dartmouth. 1 o'clock, Holy Cross at Iona. Navy at Cornell. Indiana South Bend at Central Michigan. Evansville at Miami of Ohio. 2 o'clock, Lehigh at West Virginia. Carnegie Mellon at Akron. Rider VCU. Presbyterian Jacksonville. FIU Ohio. Oakland Youngstown State. Wilberforce NC Central. 2:30 Tennessee Martin Bowling Green. 3 o'clock Lipscomb and Clemson. Appalachian State St. Louis. Northern Alabama and Eastern Illinois. Indiana Purdue Wright State. 4 o'clock Mount St. Mary's Minnesota. Drexel Hofstra. James Madison Elan. Towson William and Mary. New Mexico State Colorado State. UC Riverside Western Michigan. New Mexico and Southwest. Columbia Northwestern. Delaware Northeastern at 5 o'clock, as well as Columbia Northwestern. Middle Tennessee and Rhode Island. Purdue Fort Wayne and North Dakota State. Champions Christian Northwestern State. Lyon and Central Arkansas. 5:30 Piedmont International and Charleston Southern. Denver Western Illinois. Oral Roberts Omaha. 6 o'clock Alabama Stephen F. Austin. UMass Georgia. William and Woods Missouri State. UIC Northern Kentucky. Missouri S&T and SIU Edwardsville. 7 o'clock LIU Brooklyn and Fordham. Detroit Mercy Cleveland State. And 9 o'clock on Pac-12 Network UC Davis and USC. NBA. Just going to breeze through these results real quick. The Bucks defeat the Nets 129-115. The Wizards defeat the Hornets 130-126. The Rockets defeat the Pelicans 108-104. The Hawks defeat the Cavaliers 111-108. The Jazz destroy the Knicks 129-97. The Celtics defeat the Grizzlies 112-103. The Nuggets defeat the Suns 122-118. The Warriors defeat the Trailblazers 115-105. And the Spurs defeat the Clippers 122-111. Today's slate at 3:30 of the Pistons at the Magic. At 6 o'clock, you have the Timberwolves at the Heat, the Bulls at the Raptors. 7 o'clock, the Thunder at the Mavericks. 9 o'clock, the 76ers at the Trailblazers. 9:30, the Kings at the Lakers. NHL. Pretty much everybody played yesterday, with the exception of one team. The Rangers defeat the Predators 4-3. The Devils defeat the Hurricanes 2-0. The Wild defeat the Jets 3-1. The Sharks defeat the Oilers 7-4. The Golden Knights defeat the Kings 4-1. The Bruins defeat the Sabres 3-2 in overtime. The Islanders defeat the Maple Leafs 4-0. The Capitals defeat the Senators 3-2. The Lightning defeat the Canadiens 6-5. The Panthers defeat the Flyers 2-1. The Penguins defeat the Blues 6-1. The Stars defeat the Red Wings 5-1. The Blackhawks defeat the Avalanche 3-2 in overtime. The Canucks defeat the Flames 3-2 in overtime. And the Coyotes defeat the Ducks 5-4 in overtime. The lone game on today's slate is at 8 o'clock. It's between the Golden Knights and the Coyotes. Now I'm going to do my 2018 MLB redraft. Number 1, the Tigers, Casey Mize, no do-over there. Number 2, the San Francisco Giants, Joey Bart, no do-over there. Number 3, the Philadelphia Phillies, Nick Madrigal, so they do a slight do-over. 4, the Chicago White Sox, Alec Boehm, so those two teams flip-flop. 5, the Cincinnati Reds, Jonathan India, no do-over there. 6, the New York Mets, Brady Singer. 7, San Diego Padres, Matthew Liberatore, no do-over there. 8, the Atlanta Braves, Jared Kelenic. 9, the Oakland Athletics, Nolan Gorman. 10, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Travis Swaggerty, no do-over there. 11, the Baltimore Orioles, Cole Winn. 12, the Toronto Blue Jays, Ryan Weathers. 13, the Miami Marlins, Kyler Murray. But depending on his decision, of course, we're going to do another one of these before the next MLB draft. 14, the Seattle Mariners, Trevor Lawrence. 15, the Texas Rangers, Seth Beer. 16, Tampa Bay Rays, Bryce Turang. 17, the Los Angeles Angels, Nico Horner. 18, the Kansas City Royals, Grayson Rodriguez. 19, the St. Louis Cardinals, Logan Gilbert. 20, the Minnesota Twins, Ryan Rollison. 21, the Milwaukee Brewers, Shane McClanahan. 22, the Colorado Rockies, Daniel Lynch. 23, the New York Yankees, Anthony Siegler. No do-over there. 24, the Chicago Cubs, Jordan Groshans. 25, the Arizona Diamondbacks, Jackson Kowar. 26, the Boston Red Sox, Noah Bo Naylor. 27, the Washington Nationals, Jordan Adams. 27, the Houston Astros, Nick Schnell. 29, the Cleveland Indians, Connor Scott. And number 30, the Los Angeles Dodgers, Ethan Hackens. Now I'm going to do my picks for Week 17 of the NFL season. I'm also going to be going over what I'm looking forward to seeing in every game today as I make the picks. The 1 o'clock games are the somewhat meaningless games, and the 4 o'clock games are all meaningful games with the exception of really one. On Fox at 1 o'clock, you have the Green Bay Packers against the Detroit Lions. The Lions are 5-10 on the year. Packers 6-8-1 on the year. The Lions are coming off a divisional home loss against the Minnesota Vikings. The Packers are coming off an overtime road win in East Rutherford against the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is playing with a chip on his shoulder right now to prove that he's still the best quarterback in the league, and I like the Packers here to win by double digits. Green Bay 34, Detroit 20. The Miami Dolphins are at the Buffalo Bills, 1 o'clock on CBS. Dolphins 7-8, Bills 5-10. The Dolphins are coming off a bad home loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bills are coming off a divisional road loss in Foxborough against the Patriots. This is obviously a meaningless game, but I think the Bills get a win at home as Josh Allen shows flashes of what he can be down the road. Buffalo 24, Miami 16. The New York Jets are at the New England Patriots, 1 o'clock on CBS. Jets 4-11, Patriots 10-5. The Jets are coming off a heartbreaking overtime home loss against the Green Bay Packers. The Patriots are coming off a divisional home win over the Buffalo Bills. The Patriots need a win to get a first-round bye, and I believe they'll get the job done. New England 30, Jets 20. The Carolina Panthers are at the New Orleans Saints, 1 o'clock on Fox. Panthers 6-9, Saints 13-2. The Panthers are coming off a divisional home loss against the Atlanta Falcons. The Saints are coming off a home win over the Pittsburgh Steelers and locked up the top seed in the NFC. Teddy Bridgewater is starting for the Saints, and Kyle Allen is getting his first career start for the Panthers. Bridgewater is poised to have a good game so he can get paid by a quarterback-needy team this spring, and I think he leads the way for the Saints, although they are resting guys. New Orleans 26, Carolina 19. The Dallas Cowboys are at the New York Giants, 1 o'clock on Fox. Dallas 9-6, Giants 5-10. The Cowboys are coming off a home win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in which they clinched the NFC East and the 4 seed in. The Giants are coming off a road loss in Indianapolis against the Colts. The Cowboys won't play their starters the whole game, so that opens the door for the Giants to put on a fine performance as Saquon Barkley makes a final statement for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Giants 30, Dallas 16. The Atlanta Falcons are at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1 o'clock on Fox. Falcons 6-9, Buccaneers 5-10. The Falcons are coming off a divisional road win in Charlotte against the Panthers. The Buccaneers are coming off a road loss in Arlington against the Cowboys. Expect a ton of points in this game, and I think the Falcons' offense is the best unit on the field, which leads them to a win. Atlanta 35, Tampa Bay 33. I'm going to say Matt Bryant kicks the game winner as time expires. The Jacksonville Jaguars are at the Houston Texans, 1 o'clock on CBS. Jaguars 5-10, Texans 10-5. The Jaguars are coming off a road win in Miami against the Dolphins. The Texans are coming off a heartbreaking road loss in Philadelphia against the Eagles. The Texans still haven't clinched the AFC South yet, and they need this win in order to do so, and I believe they get the job done. Houston 26, Jacksonville 16. The Los Angeles Chargers are at the Denver Broncos, 4:25 on CBS. Chargers 11-4, Broncos are 6-9. The Chargers are coming off a disappointing Saturday night loss at home against the Baltimore Ravens. The Broncos are coming off a Monday night divisional road loss in Oakland against the Raiders. The Chargers need this game and some help to win the AFC West, and I think they do wind up winning a close game, sans no Phillip Lindsay for Denver. 27-23 Chargers. The Oakland Raiders are at the Kansas City Chiefs, 40-25 on CBS. Raiders 4-11, Kansas City 11-4. The Raiders are coming off a Monday night divisional home win over the Denver Broncos. The Chiefs are coming off a Sunday night road loss in Seattle against the Seahawks. The Chiefs need a win or a Chargers loss to win the division, and I believe they get the job done as Patrick Mahomes tries to lock up MVP. Kansas City 33, Oakland 23. San Francisco 49ers at the Los Angeles Rams, 4:25 on Fox. 49ers 4-11, the Rams 12-3. The 49ers are coming off a home loss against the Chicago Bears. The Rams are coming off a divisional road win in Glendale over the pitiful Cardinals. The Rams are sitting Todd Gurley again, and C.J. Anderson did a good job filling in for Gurley last week. The Rams need a win or a Bears loss to get the first round bye, and I believe they get the win as Jared Goff continues to get out of his slump. Rams 31, San Francisco 23. The Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings, 4:25 on Fox. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Aaron Andrews on the call. Bears 11-4, Vikings 8-6-1. The Bears are coming off a road win in Santa Clara against the 49ers. The Vikings are coming off a big divisional road win in Detroit against the Lions. The Vikings need this win or an Eagles loss in order to clinch the final NFC playoff spot, and I believe Kirk Cousins leads the way for the Vikings, although the Bears will be playing for a possible first-round bye. Minnesota 27, Chicago 20. The Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers, 4:25 on CBS. Bengals 6-9, Steelers 8-6-1. The Bengals are coming off a divisional road loss in Cincinnati against the Browns. The Steelers are coming off a brutal road loss in New Orleans against the Saints. The Steelers need a win and a Ravens loss in order to win the AFC South, but I say they get the win here as they'll sit on the edge of their feet until the rest of the AFC North matchup is complete. Pittsburgh 27, Cincinnati 16. The Arizona Cardinals are at the Seattle Seahawks, 4:25 on Fox. Cardinals 3-12, Seahawks 9-6. The Cardinals are coming off a divisional home loss against the Los Angeles Rams. The Seahawks are coming off a monstrous Sunday night home win over the Kansas City Chiefs. The Cardinals seem poised to get the number one pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, which makes the Seahawks the lock of the week. Seattle 37, Arizona 13. The Philadelphia Eagles are at the Washington Redskins, 4:25 on Fox. Eagles 8-7, Redskins 7-8. The Eagles are coming off a much-needed home win over the Houston Texans to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Redskins are coming off a Saturday evening road loss in Nashville against the Titans. The Eagles need a win and the Vikings loss in order to make the playoffs, but I say they at least get the win over their division rival. Philadelphia 24, Washington 20. The Cleveland Browns are at the Baltimore Ravens, 4:25 on CBS. Browns 7-7-1, Ravens 9-6. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson on the call. The Browns are coming off a divisional home win over the Cincinnati Bengals. The Ravens are coming off an enormous Saturday night road win in Los Angeles against the Chargers. The Browns certainly won't lay an egg here as Baker Mayfield will be gunning for Offensive Rookie of the Year. The Ravens need a win here to clinch the AFC North or a Steelers loss, and I think they get the job done in a great game. Baltimore 23, Cleveland 20. The Indianapolis Colts are at the Tennessee Titans, 8:20 NBC. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tavoya on the call. Both teams are 9-6. Winner makes the playoffs. Loser goes home. The Colts are coming off a huge home win over the New York Giants. The Titans are coming off a big Saturday evening home win over the Washington Redskins. The winner of this game makes the playoffs and the loser goes home. If the Texans lose to the Jaguars, this could be for the AFC South. That said, the best player on the field will be Andrew Luck, who is 10-0 lifetime against the Titans. Make it 11-0 now as he helps the Colts get back to the playoffs for the first time in 4 seasons. Prediction: Indianapolis 27, Tennessee 16. No Marcus Mariota in this game as well. Now I'm going to go to the gambling side of this and pick my best bet for the day. I'm going to say in the 4 o'clock window, 4 picks. The Seahawks minus 13.5. I think that's a blowout. The Vikings minus 5.5. I just think they cover, even though I think it'll be a 7-point game. Bengals plus 14.5. I think that's a backdoor cover game. And the Browns plus 6 because I think that's a 3-point game either way. Plus 13.63. Wagered 50 cents to win $7.32 courtesy of FanDuel. That's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping all the playoff games. Go over which coaches have been fired, who survives, and anything else that happens in the world of sports. I hope you guys have a fabulous day, everyone.